Hey everybody, this is Brian Modansky of the Modansky Homes team at Keller Williams Realty, Charleston, Mount Pleasant. And today I kind of wanted to give the State of the Union now that we're at the halfway point of the year on where we're at in the real estate market in the Charleston region, the Tri-County area, Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester County. For the most part, sales have remained pretty stable. There's been little fluctuations here and there. There's been some pockets, some areas, which I'll go over each of the individual areas that have seen, major or minor changes. So basically, June was another pretty solid month. 1,923 homes sold last month compared to 1,949. So only a difference of 26 homes changed hands compared to last year. But the significant number is the median sales price, which jumped from 270 to 298, almost 290. So almost a $20,000 jump in median sales price in the region versus this time last year. Overall sales volume is about 2% down from where it was this time last year. But the median sales price has jumped 4.6%. So sales price is holding strong, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we've had a weak inventory of new homes and new homes being built and new homes being listed. So far this year, 9,201 homes have sold at a median sales price of $277,000 versus this time last year, 9,386. So that, each month we've been about 20 to 25 homes less changing hands. And that sold last year at a median sales price of $265. So it's a bump of $12,000 in median sales price in the Tri-County area, but the total volume has been down about 25 homes a month since the beginning of the year. So inventory overall is showing that there's been 5% less homes active compared to this time last year. So, that's also leading to less homes being sold because there just isn't the inventory. We are still kind of at a choke point for a lot of buyers because there aren't as many properties out there. So something does get listed and it's listed at the right price or close to the right price, and maybe there's no competition in the desired subdivision. Things still are going quickly. It's you kind of have to take it, case by case basis depending on where the property's located. At this point in the year, I think we are still holding pretty strong. We followed almost the same exact arcs when you start to look at days on market. You start to look at median sales price. You start to look at price per square foot. We're following the same arcs throughout the year. Basically, we are in the busy season, which is starting to get closer to its close than it is to the beginning. Meaning if you are on the fence about listing your property, you may want to get it on the market now before the summer season's over. It is the highest volume of sales. We have the typical slowdown. Doesn't mean you can't sell your home in the winter. It just, means you may have to do a little bit more to get it done. And it does quite often have a slight dip in what you get back in value. So this is the strongest period of the year. It's been going strong since, I would say, April through, I would say September, October. And then, it does kind of have its pitch up and pitch back down. But we're following the same trends that we've had in last year. It's just we have a little bit less inventory out there holding us back. So just to give you a little bit of info on last month or year to date so far, 503 homes sold at a median price of $223,000 in Berkeley County. Year to date, that's an increase of 4.4%, and the median sales price has actually jumped a bit more in Berkeley County. It's been a little bit further behind where Charleston had its bumps, its big major jumps back in 2017 and 18 in median sales value. So Berkeley County right now is kind of a place to be, especially if you're an investor. There are currently 1,035 properties on the market. 921 of those are single families and about 114 are condos or townhomes. If you look at the Goose Creek Moncks Corner area, which is continuing a very strong year so far with about 5% bump in new listings, which is one of the few areas which has seen an increase in new listings. And it's had an increase in closed sales volume of 8%. So clearing out a little bit of the older inventory and swallowing up that new inventory of listings that are coming in. And their median sales price is held strong. and that basically at 6.8% higher than it was last year. So it's following the trend. We are across the board about 4.6 up for the year. So it's Berkeley County has been a very strong area to get involved with if you're looking to buy a home as a owner occupant, first time home buyer, or an investor. Another area that's doing really well in Berkeley County has been the Daniel Island area, Area 77. The volume is down a little bit on the year. It's down about 8%, but the median sales price has had a significant jump from 755,000 to 822,000. Like I said earlier with Charleston County, they've already had their significant increase when it comes to sales price and sales volume. You saw those big jumps in 2017 and 2018, like I mentioned previously. So far, 971 homes sold in June. 738 of those were single family, and 233 were condos and townhomes. Sales of single family homes have slowed a little bit, down 3.6% this year at a median sales price up about 1%. So, much flatter numbers in Charleston County. Condo sales have declined a little bit at 3.4% as median sales prices has jumped 2.6. So when you're dealing with, these percentages, 2% is kind of your margin of error. So they're just basically flat, same numbers as this time last year. So Charleston County still doing well, but it's basically slowed down. So there are currently 3,407 residential properties on the market in Charleston County, of which 2,518 are single family homes and 889 are townhouses and condos. So I'm going to go over a couple of different areas. You got Upper Mount Pleasant, Area 41. Single family homes are continuing a strong year with an increase of 7.9% new listings. One of the only areas that had an increase in listings in Charleston County. And it's also directly led to a 9.9% increase in closed sales in that area. Median sales prices remain flat. It's down actually 1.1% versus this point last year. But the sales volume has increased, and so has the new listings, and it's really the only area where you've actually had both of those. Lower Mount Pleasant area 42, has seen an increase in new listings, but it's decreased down 6.6% in closed sales, so that's dropped quite a bit. And it's also showing the same trend that Upper Mount Pleasant, it's actually been flat on median sales price. The sales price point, it's down 0.7%. So, and there's three other areas I was going to mention. First being the West Ashley area, highly desirable. They've actually had an increase of listings of 16%, but have had only an increase of 1% on closed sales. And median sales prices jumped from 310 in the West Ashley area to 310,000 a year. This so far year to date. Folly Beach is another desirable area in Charleston County. It's actually had a decrease in new listings. It's 21 less listings than it's had last year, but its closings have jumped to 55 this year versus 33 the same time last year. And the days on market has more than doubled during that time. So I think what this is actually showing is some of the aged inventory finally getting cleared out from last year. Price reductions and whatnot to get it down to the points where they needed to sell. And then we're going to look at the last area of Charleston County that had some numbers that were interesting. You have the Hollywood, Ravenel, and Maggot area where closed sales have dropped about 25% year over year. 67 last year and 50 at this point this year. So some of the rural areas still are starting to show a little bit more difficulty in getting properties sold. They're taking a little bit longer. Less of them are hitting the market. They're being kind of squeezed out a little bit. And the last county I wanted to get to is Dorchester County. Basically, a large portion of that is Somerville. Basically, last month, 352 homes sold at a median price of $216,475 versus, of those 352, 311 were single family and 41 of them were condos and townhomes. Home prices jumped about 7%, but the sales volume is still declined 3% versus last year. So kind of falling in line with where everywhere else is. We're still a little bit further behind. I think, part of the year starting off slow was the government shutdown, and a lot of the FHA loans and VA loans and government-backed loans couldn't get closed. And I still think we're kind of recovering from that. But I think it's also, we are in a market that is starting to see the signs of it slowing down. So there are currently 697 residential home properties on the market in Dorchester County. 635 of those are single families, and 62 of those are condos. So basically, what does all that mean? Still means we're, overall in a pretty strong market in the Charleston area. Prices haven't increased extensively across the board. There are pockets like Berkeley County is still doing extremely well. Dorchester is still doing well when it comes to sales price. Volume's down a little bit. Charleston County, when you really look at it as a whole, for the most part, has been pretty flat. There's been pockets here and there, like Upper Mount Pleasant, still doing well on its sales price, but it is taking a little bit longer on their days in market. So, it's kind of one of those things now where I think you have to go in with a plan. Whereas, if you go back 2 years ago, you just kind of threw it on the market and you were under contract if it was priced pretty much close to where it needed to be. You were under contract usually by the next weekend. You're still seeing some of that when you come in with the proper marketing plan, but I think now you have to be a little bit more creative in how you decide to market your property. Via open houses and online marketing and different things you could do to create buzz before your listing, especially if you want to get that listing under contract under 14 days. Pricing strategy is very important. These are the conversations that I have when I go out on a listing appointment. You don't want to have an agent that's just looking to place their sign in yard, put it on MLS, and then pray that some other agent wants to sell your home. You want an agent that's going to be proactive, that's going to go out there and do things that the other agents may or may not do. So if you have any more questions, or you're thinking about listing your home and you kind of want to get an idea of what your home may be worth, feel free to reach out to me. My direct line's 843-628-8910. I'd be happy to talk to you about your property and see what we can do to get your home sold and get you into a new home. Again, thanks again, and have a great day.